Hey yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the Redskins review. I'm your host here, B Militant. And we just got done watching the Redskins Steelers first week of the season, first game of the season. And I don't know what to say, man. I don't know how to even start this video besides saying I'm just disappointed, man. I'm so disappointed. Most people had us losing this game. I thought if we came out here and beat the Steelers, we would kind of put, our team on the map and people would take us a little bit more serious. But I'm just disappointed, man. At a few times during this game, I felt like we had the chance to be in this game and to take control of the game, and our team just looked rusty. Kirk Cousins looked rusty. Everyone just looked rusty, man, especially our defense. At times, man, our defense in the beginning of the game, this game was all about momentum, and then this game was all about momentum. At the beginning, the Redskins seemed to have the momentum, scoring points, and then after that, in the second quarter, it turned into nothing but the Steelers. And then late in the third quarter, the Redskins started to come back, and then after that, it was just the Steelers just squashed it, man. They just finished, and it made it seem like the Redskins gave up almost at one point. It's almost kind of embarrassing, dude. Like I said, there was times where we just didn't capitalize, and these are all these are things that although our team seems different and we have new players, new skill players, and things like that, but there's still things that are happening. Way too many penalties. I don't think the Steelers had a penalty into the fourth fucking quarter, and here the Redskins are with 9 penalties, killing our drives. Vernon Davis with a hold, Corey Lichtensteiger with multiple holds. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. There's no way we can work. There's no way we can beat these teams, good teams like the Steelers, when we're shooting ourselves in the foot, man. It just seemed rusty. I'm not going to sit here and dwell over it and think that this is the Redskins, because we all know, everyone here has been talking about, how excited we are for football season and how much we actually believe in the Redskins, and I still do believe in them, but what I saw today just looked like rusty. It looked like kind of the preseason at the one game, I think it was versus Atlanta or whatever, where Kirk Cousins came out and the offense came out and they looked rusty, but then Kirk threw like 3 touchdowns in the second quarter. I think that was the Atlanta game. That's kind of how the game seemed today. We came out, even though the defense they got turnovers and things like that, and then we had short fields and we just didn't score points. We settled for field goals. One of the biggest things that probably happened in this game was that we settled for field goals when we could have been up 14-0. I think we really could have been up 14-0. Sacked Big Ben, we got the tipped interception by Bashaud Breeland, and that's pretty much the only damn thing Bashaud Breeland did in this game, and I'll get to that later. But we got a turnover early in the game, had good field position, settled for a field goal. Like the next Steelers drive, we get pressure on Big Ben, one of the only times we ever did, and he's fumbled the ball, and Ryan Kerrigan had the ball in his hands, and somehow he didn't fucking come up with it. We could have had the ball right there, scored more points, but we settled for field goals when we should have had touchdowns early. Again, that's what we have to do versus these good teams. We need to capitalize on their mistakes, and we just did not do that. Like I said, we looked rusty. I'm not going to completely sit here and think, I'm not going to have a negative outlook on the entire season just because of this one game. And like I said, I feel like this was a lot of rust. In the third quarter, our team, after we were down, we came out here and we just started throwing the ball. Kirk Cousins made good reads, and we moved the ball down the field with easily, and seemed we were in kind of like a hurry-up formation, and it was working. I don't know why we weren't doing things like this earlier. I don't know what the play calling was, man. This was some bad play calling as well in this game. I mean, god damn, you guys, I know one of the first goddamn things everyone's going to be on here saying is, God, shedding the blame on Kirk Cousins right away. And, obviously when a team loses and things like that, you're obviously going to put a lot of the blame on the quarterback. And I understand, and, we get that. And, I've been a huge fan of Kirk Cousins, and I'm going to continue to defend him. But, the one pass to Ryan where Ryan Shazier intercepted it, it was a bad pass. Even the one in the end zone when he threw at the end of the game, that didn't even matter. Kirk Cousins' first red zone interception of his career. Yet again, another bad pass. But you guys, Matt Jones with 24 yards rushing is not fucking acceptable. It's not acceptable. How can we beat Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins, yes, he seems like a good quarterback. He has all the skills. He's growing into what's going to be a really good quarterback one day. But he's still too young in his career to sit here and make him. Right now, at this point in his career, he's not Big Ben. He's not fucking Tom Brady. He's not going to win you a fucking game single-handedly. He needs help. And 24 fucking rushing yards is not fucking helping anyone. How can you sit here? I'm sure there's so many people. I already saw it on Facebook. Everyone, is out for Kirk Cousins and shit like that. Mainly, I don't think people would be saying a lot of that stuff, but the game ended on an interception in the end zone. I understand. So that probably, put insult to injury, there. So a lot of people are out for Kirk Cousins right now, which, like I said, man, he looked rusty in this game. But I'm going to defend him somewhat, you guys, because 24 fucking rushing yards. I think it's more unacceptable that we have 24 fucking rushing yards than Kirk Cousins threw 2 interceptions, because he threw the ball, I don't know how many times, but I guarantee you it's more times than fucking we should be throwing the goddamn ball. We need to be a balanced team, and if we have 24 rushing yards in the entire game, man, that just reminds me of last year. Reminds me of forcing Kirk Cousins to do something, and sometimes it doesn't fucking work. Sometimes it doesn't work, man. Kirk Cousins came out and he was inaccurate in the first quarter. Like I said, that seems like rust to me. Later in the game, he showed some good drive at the end of the third quarter, made good throws, made good reads. We know he has the ability to be a good quarterback, you guys. But how many times are we going to sit here as Redskins fans and sit here and say Corey Lichtensteiger is a shit-ass center? Multiple times, penalties already. He got multiple penalties in the game, got pushed back in the run game all the time. I haven't even gotten to the defense yet. But Vernon Davis had a penalty. He did have a run. Or he did have a good, nice catch and run at the end of the third quarter in the same drive that I'm talking about, which yet again is another point that I wrote down in my notes. Vernon Davis was running with the ball like all hanging out there, man. You can't do that, bro. You got to hold on to the ball. Luckily, you didn't drop it then. But to go back to the game, this game was a game of this game really reminded me of the game versus the Carolina Panthers last year, where we were giving it to the Panthers, and if they got a touchdown, we answered back, and it would just seem like, holy shit, we're competing with this team. That's what happened in this game. We come out, hold them, get the interception. We sack Big Ben, and then it just tapered off, and the momentum affected our team in a negative way. In the Carolina game, we had a really bad call versus us, and after that, you could tell that our team played differently. The same thing happened in this game, you guys. We had the momentum going for us. We had field goals, which we still had points up on the board, and the other team didn't. And then the momentum changed, man, and you could clearly tell. The Steelers ran the ball. This brings me back to Louis T's segment on his channel where he says banana in the tailpipe, things that he does not believe. so far from watching the preseason about the Redskins, and our defense and our run stopping defense looked good in the preseason. And then that was his banana in the tailpipe. He's not going to believe the hype around our defense being so good and the run, especially the run defense. And man, it's bad. D'Angelo Williams had what was it, like 140 rush yards. Antonio Brown had like 100 and so passing yards. I got what I asked for. I wanted Bashaud Breeland to be on Antonio Brown, and man, he just got worked, man. I mean, I don't expect to see that again from Bashaud Breeland, but also Breeland had a bunch of missed tackles. David Bruton Jr., I don't fucking understand why he is a starter. Why is he starting? Which, I'll get to the injury report, inactive people a little bit later. I guess one thing we can say is that I don't think we accrued any big injuries in this game. We can move on from this and build off of this. We seemed rusty. I'm hoping all it was rust. Kirk Cousins started slow, gained some momentum in the third quarter. I mean, you guys, it sucks that it took to the third quarter for that to happen, but when we're not running the goddamn football, what more can you expect? The Steelers played zone defense for most of the time and just dared Kirk Cousins to throw the ball. Every time he tried to throw it deep, it just seemed too risky. So he tried to do some check downs, but you can't check down forever, man. Then he threw some passes that were ill-advised, and the Steelers capitalized, changed the momentum into their favor, and that was the game, a game of momentum, and the Steelers just had the momentum. They also controlled the clock by running the ball effectively, over 140, 50, 60 yards, rushing. The Redskins seem like the Redskins of old from last year on defense. I didn't expect Bashaud Breeland to be burned that bad, but he is still a young guy, still learning. Antonio, on the one pass on the fourth down, where Antonio Brown caught the touchdown, you can see Bashaud Breeland. He just made a young player's mistake where he turned around to see if the ball was coming. That whole second where he turns his head and he looks to see if the ball's in the air, that gave Antonio Brown a step to get out in front of him and catch that ball in the end zone. But also, I do want to say that when I saw replays of the play, D'Angelo Hall was there in the vicinity of the play. Not sure if D'Angelo Hall was supposed to be giving him help. If he did, good throw on Big Ben. Somehow the ball got there before D'Angelo Hall. I don't understand. The Steelers played smart football, man. They understood that, hey, Bashaud Breeland is not playing a good game right now. Let's keep attacking him. Josh Norman played a pretty good game. We had, like I said, it was a game of momentum. Josh Norman, he stripped the ball out of Antonio Brown's hand the one time, and we thought we were going to get a fumble. Just seemed like a lot of calls were going the Steelers' way. I mean, it's no excuse. Even in the game last year, like I said, it's no excuse for the game versus the Panthers. If bad calls happen, you can't let it affect you, and I feel like that's what happened to the Redskins this game, is that we let it affect us. Some of the calls and some of the ways things went. Even the interception in the end zone at the end of the game, even you heard the commentators say, it looks like that ball hit the ground and he didn't fully pull it in. From one angle, it seemed that way. The other angle, it seemed like he might have had an arm under it, but that's after he rolled from the ground. But, like they said, the refs probably stood there and they were like, hey, Steelers are going to get the ball. They're going to kneel it. The game's over. The Redskins aren't coming back. It's impossible for them to come back. Let's just end the game. You guys, it's just disappointing, man. I don't know where to start. Even though Breeland had a bad game, he had like the second most tackles on our team or something like that. He's still out there working. Our team didn't seem to give up. We in the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, we're still in the game. We were still in the game. But then that was it. We, near the end of the game in the fourth quarter, we still had we in obvious running situations, the Steelers are up by 1 or 2 scores, or 2 scores maybe, and it's obvious running situations, and we're still letting D'Angelo Williams get 8 yards on first down. Like what is going on? What is going on? Our pass rush just flattened out. We didn't get to Big Ben besides the first quarter, and that's what I'm saying is the momentum. This game could have very easily gone a different direction if Ryan Kerrigan would have just held onto the football when Big Ben dropped it on the ground. I mean, this game could have gone much different. This was a complete team loss, in my opinion, Everyone's to blame. Kirk Cousins is to blame for being rusty, for throwing inaccurate balls on third down in the first quarter when we could have scored more points. Everyone's at fault. Josh Norman seemed to have a good game. But another thing is our linebackers, man. Will Compton didn't seem like the Will Compton that we saw in preseason. In preseason, he was all over the run. Something that the Steelers kept doing was keep pulling their tight ends, and it kept working. They would pull their tight end and use them in blocking situations to run counter runs, and we just had nothing for it. Our defensive line just seemed non-existent, kind of like last year. It's kind of scary, man. We need to get pressure on the quarterback. We weren't doing it, even though Preston Smith's in there. He had like one pressure, It just wasn't enough. Collectively, as a team, it wasn't enough, and I really thought the Redskins were better than this, and I really, it's just disappointing, and I think we just can't let this get to our heads. This was a really good football team that we played, even though they didn't have Le'Veon Bell and some other guys. D'Angelo Williams is no joke either, man. D'Angelo Williams, even coming into this game, he's still a threat, something that I was worried about. Let me get into what I wrote down during the game. During the second quarter, my goddamn phone restarted for some reason, and I didn't have what I saved. So let me get into first. I have here questionable inactives. Rashad Ross, Duke Iheanacho, Kendall Fuller, all inactive. Why? How does that make any sense? Are they hurt? What happened to them? Why aren't they playing? Rashad Ross is a pretty big weapon. Duke Iheanacho should be our starting fucking safety. He's not even dressed. Kendall Fuller had a decent preseason. Why isn't he out there? Another thing I want to add is we are missing some guys. Kyshawn Jarrett, dude. I miss Kyshawn Jarrett so much. So let me get into my other points. Sua Cravens was on the field a good amount for what I thought he was going to be. He was on the field a lot. Cravens had a good third down tackle to make the Steelers punt. That was in the first quarter or so. Norman and Bruton got into an argument, started fighting or whatever. Now, everyone here, Louis T, everyone here understands and is sitting here saying, why is David Bruton Jr. the fucking starter? Duke Iheanacho is obviously more aggressive, plays better. There's only 2 reasons why I can sit here and fathom and come up for any reason why Bruton is starting on our team is because we're worried about Iheanacho's health. We started him last year and he got hurt, and then we prepared him as a starter and then he got hurt, so it kind of hurts our team. And the other one is Bruton Jr. Maybe he showed something in practices that us Skins fans don't see. That's stupid. If Josh Norman is getting in a fight with Bruton Jr., I'm going to sit here and say Bruton Jr. did something fucking wrong. And Josh Norman, I understand, and I've seen a lot about Josh Norman. And he talks shit, but guess what? He's also a stickler about the game. He plays with great passion. He reminds me of Kirk Cousins on defense because Kirk Cousins, he's such a stickler. Like you see the articles about him. planning out every 15-minute segments of his daily routine and things like that. He studies the film, all shit like that. That's Josh Norman to me. And so if David Bruton Jr. is in here and they're arguing, I'm gonna point the finger at Bruton Jr. is fucked up. Something he did is fucked up, and Norman's trying to eradicate it. So my next point is Kirk Cousins seems inaccurate early. We already covered that. Bashaud Breeland had a tip interception. Corey Lichtensteiger with the false start. And then that's where I lost some information. Defense seems like they can't stop the run and are slow and reactionary the entire second quarter. Whether it was on pass plays, whether it was run plays, our guys just weren't swarming to the ball like they've been doing in preseason. And that's one thing that I've really liked about our defense in preseason was they were always swarming to the ball. We got turnovers. Didn't really happen in this game besides the one interception by Breeland. Steelers, in the third quarter, Steelers are still running easily. They're running the ball easily. Setting up pass, they didn't really run too many. They really didn't run too many play action passes, but they still set up passes by running the ball so well. Pierre Garçon had a nice fumble recovery and ran with the ball. Heads up play by Pierre Garçon. Kirk Cousins throws a pick over the middle to Ryan Shazier. Steelers are playing so much zone defense because our run game is non-existent. They're not afraid of our run game, and then they're sitting here saying, Kirk Cousins, you need to beat us, and you need to beat this zone, these zone plays. And it's hard, man. It's fucking hard. It's hard for Kirk Cousins as a second-year starter to be Tom Brady right away. It's hard for him to be Big Ben right away. He needs help. He needs help. Our team needs to be well-rounded. We need to run the ball. That is a huge question mark for us. Also, it comes into play calling. There's a lot of people to blame. Even our play calling is fucked up. Matt Jones had 7 carries. What? I understand that we're down, but we have to be balanced, man. It's retarded. Kirk Cousins, that interception to Ryan Shazier was Kirk Cousins' first interception at home ever. So that's the stat. The interception to end the game in the end zone was Kirk Cousins' first interception in the red zone ever. Greg Toller got abused on one play. Redskins aren't getting pressure on Big Ben anymore. This is the whole second quarter to end of the game. Non-existent. Our defensive line is just not doing shit. Breeland is getting abused by Brown because of Brown's speed. I came into this game wanting Bashaud Breeland to be on Antonio Brown. I think Bashaud Breeland's a really good player, and I think he's going to shut a lot of people down this year, even after this game. But Antonio Brown just abused him with his speed. He always just was one step ahead of Breeland, and that's all it took because how good Ben Roethlisberger is at throwing the ball. If it was another quarterback back there, it might be different. But Big Ben is just, he put the ball on the money all the time. With Antonio Brown having just that one step ahead, that's dangerous, man. That's dangerous. Penalties are killing us. Another penalty on Corey Lichtensteiger in the second half. After being down 24-6, the Skins seemed to be passing and having a lot of mismatches because Kirk is getting the ball out of his hands faster. It reminds me of last year. That was the late third quarter drive that we had. The only good drive that we had the whole goddamn game, in my opinion. Kirk seems to be off his decision-making, seems rusty, and starting the season slow, kind of like he did last year. And he played a good team. That's what I had written down. Steelers keep pulling his tight end to block. I talked about that. Vernon Davis needs to put 2 hands on the ball when he runs with it. Skins pick up the tempo and trash the Steelers D late in the third. Like I said, that up-tempo kind of kind of changed the game, changed the momentum there for a minute, and brought us back into the game. The game wasn't over. Our defense kept bending, but they never broke until that point. I wouldn't say they broke until the fourth quarter, when, like I said, it was the Steelers wanted to just end the game. They wanted to run out the clock, and on first down, D'Angelo Williams was running the ball for like a 9-yard gain on like first down. Like, it's in obvious running situations. That's where I would say the Redskins defense broke. Steelers didn't have one penalty until the fourth quarter. Antonio Brown is pushing off on Breeland some. That is true. Missed tackles let him get a touchdown. Bruton Jr. and Breeland both missed an open field tackle on D'Angelo Williams when I'm walking for a touchdown. Another false start. When we were down by 2 scores, we're still having these mistakes, these mental mistakes. Our offensive line is killing us. It's fourth quarter and we have no chance to come back. The Steelers have the ball. In obvious running situation, we still can't stop the run. Antonio Brown is still unstoppable, still catching passes, still dancing, pissing us off. Kirk Cousins' first interception in the red zone ever. Kirk ended up throwing for more yards than Big Ben did in the game. Like I said, we're not well-rounded. We need a run game. We need it. Having a run game right now is the most important thing we need. More than our defense upping their game and stopping the other opponent's run, we need a run game. We need to score points. We need to take the pressure off of Kirk Cousins, because even though he has so many weapons, the Steelers played zone defense the entire time, and we couldn't get it done, man. It comes back to the run game. Just like mid-season last year, we sat here in multiple videos, the run game. Still a fucking problem. D'Angelo Williams had 143 yards. Antonio Brown had 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. Matt Jones had 7 carries for 24 yards. Deshaun Jackson had 102 yards receiving. Redskins had 9 penalties. Steelers had 4 penalties. You guys, I'm going to stop rambling. I know I said a few things over and over. I have a fucking headache right now. Kind of pissed at, missed opportunities. Missed opportunities, man. When are the Redskins going to take our team, which I would consider is good right now, and turn the corner and make them into a great team? Our missed opportunities early in the game. We could have been up 14-0 when our team ends up being like that and takes those stops, cuts down on the penalties. We get some more turnovers, capitalize on the turnovers. We could be a great team. I'm not too worried about this game. This is a game that a lot of people had us losing, even though they didn't have Le'Veon Bell. You guys, the Steelers are no joke. They were coached. Their coach played smart. Bashaud Breeland was having an off day, and guess what? They kept attacking him. Shit like that happens. I'm not. We got Dallas coming up next. We have to live and learn, man. Like I said, we were in this game at the end of the third quarter. This is a game that we could have won. This is a game we could have won if we would have scored. Would not have settled for field goals. I watched the Dallas and the Giants game the whole time. I was sitting there like, who do I want to win? I don't want anybody to win, but I didn't want the Dallas Cowboys to win because I didn't want Dak Prescott to get any momentum going. I do not want Dak Prescott to have any momentum. And the Giants, I don't want them to win because they're supposed to be, right now, what seems like our biggest rival in the division. So either or was kind of a lose-lose for us, but hopefully we can capitalize on Dallas next week when they're coming off of a loss. And also, we got to watch out for Carson Wentz over there. They did play the Browns. RG3 got hurt, you guys. I mean, for all you guys out there probably trying to get pitchforks and shit and go look for Kirk Cousins right now, guess what? We could be sitting here with RG3, who's out for probably a good chunk of the season for running the ball. You know what I mean? So it's only up from here, man. I fully believe we will change. A lot of this stuff that I saw in this game did seem like rust, especially coming from Kirk Cousins. A lot of it seemed like rust. Even some of the things like wide receiver routes, Chris Thompson on like a third, or it was fourth down or whatever, 4th and 6 yards, and Chris Thompson runs 5-yard route. How can you run a 5-yard route, when you need 6 yards on 4th down? It's that critical. For 3rd down, I could say, yeah, run the 5 yards. But on 4th down and 6, run the fucking 6-yard route. You understand? See what I'm saying? Things like that. I don't think Kirk Cousins and our team are going to take this to heart. The two biggest things I'm worried about, more than Kirk Cousins and his play, is running the goddamn ball and stopping the goddamn run. Two very important things. And I don't know, maybe even our GM can pull and bring somebody in. I don't know. If motherfuckers are showing that they're not ready to fucking play and stop the run, we have to do something. We need to bring someone in. We need to pay someone something. We need to stop the run, or it's going to be a bad year for us. So I'm going to get out of here, go check out Louis T's stuff. I'm pretty sure he's live right now while I edit this video. And I saw that, I didn't know, but on the Warpath was doing something live during the entire game. I didn't even see that. My apologies, bro, or I would have been watching that while it was going on. I just didn't know. I didn't have a heads up. Didn't know it was going to happen. So check out their content, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think about the game. Are you guys worried? What are you guys worried about? The run game, Kirk Cousins being inaccurate at times, the defense as a whole, run defense. Let me know. As always, hail to the Redskins. See you in the next one, guys. Peace.